Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome courtside to the South Point Arena in Las Vegas for the finale of the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. Dave McHugh alongside Ira Thor as we get ready for this final game. It's the only men's game of the day. It'll be the Wisconsin River Falls Falcons taking on the Muskingum University Fighting Muskies. Falcons come in with an overall record of 7-3, while the Fighting Muskies, come in with an overall record of 6-3. We'll get you starting lineups here as they are announced here momentarily, but we've had an exciting tournament to date. Men, just 6 teams out of the 16 here, so a little bit different than we've had in the previous 9 years. But this should be a good one, Gordon, between two OAC and WIAC conference representatives. Conferences sometimes get together. I don't know if these two teams have necessarily gotten together.
You know, it's the last day of the tournament, the last game overall, when you're calling me Gordon instead of Ira.
Did I say Gordon?
You did,
yep,
but
you're right.
I understand what game it is. It's game number 16, so I'm not offended. What's interesting, though, is this is a matchup of two teams that have already played once in this tournament. They're both 1-0, and they both have knocked off members of the same conference. Muskingum's been off for a couple days. They knocked off Ramapo on day 2 of the tournament back on, that was Saturday. And then, of course, River Falls last night came from behind to knock off NJCU. Coming from behind, scoring the final 7 points there. They won by 10. So two teams, River Falls, sort of, I think, trying to figure out their identity in the WIAC this year in a league that I think you and I both feel is kind of wide open. Muskingum, Marietta and Mount Union, those are your two teams to beat. But they got a dynamic scorer in Marcus Dempsey, and depending on the game he has, he could be the most valuable player of this tournament.
Let's take a look at the starters. We'll start with the Falcons of River Falls, and it starts in the guard play. Number 1, Jack Stensgaard, the 6'3 junior from Inner Groves Heights, Minnesota, coming in. He's playing in his 9th game of the season. Number 8 number 11 at guard, Matt Keller, 6-foot senior out of Elk River, Minnesota. Number 13 at forward, it's Ross Ingersoll, as he'll get this start. Number 22, Austin Worden, the sophomore, 6'5 out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And number 25, Julian Jackson, the senior, 6'6 out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And as for the Fighting Muskies, they'll start with their most dynamic player, Marcus Dempsey, the 6'1 junior guard out of Zanesville, Ohio. Number 3, Trey Singleton. We'll get these more details later. Number 11, MJ Smith. Mitch Clark at forward at number 10, and Tyler Bardahl, number 42 at forward as well. So there's your starting lineup. We'll give you the names of our officials here in a moment. It is the Muskingum Fighting Muskies in their home whites with very dark red numbers in trim, going to be moving left to right. And it is the River Falls Falcons going to be in their reds with black numbers and trim, moving right to left. They're starting on defense first as the Muskies get the possession off the opening tip. Man-to-man defense from the Falcons as we are underway here in Las Vegas for our final game, 16th of the journey, as it were. I think we're close to, it's 152 games now in this D3Hoops.com Classic history, as Dempsey starts it off with a shot. Back iron, no good. Rebound collected and tracked down by Bardahl.
Be honest, Dave, are you tired yet?
Excuse me, what's tired? A traveling violation.
It's a state of mind, and we are pumped for what, quite frankly, could be one of the great games of the tournament. I thought last night's game between River Falls and NJC it had a great ending. River Falls taking it in the final 3 minutes, but two teams here, both well above 500. I was greatly impressed. First time I had seen Dempsey in person. He's a volume shooter, Dave, but you can be a volume shooter when you make most of them. He was 10 of 17 for 35 points in the 91-82 win against Ramapo.
Jumper is good as River Falls is on the board, 2-0 there. It is made by Stensgaard. As we go back to the other end, River Falls, again, the dynamics of Dempsey will have fun, but it's other guys like you just saw there in Clark that are going to be important for this team, as well as it's now tied at 2 apiece.
It will be interesting to see how much they do get Trey Singleton involved. He had a career high 28 points, 9 out of 15 in that win against Ramapo. And I think he's the one that was most surprising to the Roadrunners, Dave, because he had come in averaging just 13 points a game and more than doubled it. So it wasn't just a Dempsey show. Dempsey can clearly take over a game in moment's notice. But to have a Robbins, your Batman, is important if Muskingum's going to go far this year.
Another miss on the other side. We'll come back down with the Falcons in control now. Inside for Ingersoll and out of bounds will remain Falcons possession with 18 on the shot clock as we're just over 2 minutes into this contest.
Ingersoll hit a big triple from the corner that gave River Falls the lead for good in their win last night against Jersey City.
Shot inside, no good, and so we'll go the other direction, still 2 apiece. In the early start of this one, these two teams were hanging around watching the women's game. A little late starting. Interesting, the only day any delay, three-pointer in the corner is good for Singleton. The only day we had any delays whatsoever to the timing of the games. It happened in the last 2 today, and the sixer yesterday were fine. Nice move, as that's a easy 2 points for Jackson.
I think if you're going to have a delay, you'd want it on the day with 4 rather than 6. I mean, I know everybody.
You said something the other day. Yeah, we don't get them. These officials are too good.
They have kept the games moving. But I'll tell you what, and we've talked about this on some of the other broadcasts throughout the tournament. I think, and for tournaments, you don't always get that. I think they've been consistent in both ways in every game. I haven't seen a poorly officiated game yet.
Well, don't ask the fans in attendance.
Well, Pat and I were talking about that earlier. You hear the chirping, but
chirping. We've had a few fans who've taken chirping to a whole nother level then. Both free throws are good for Singleton.
I look at the positive.
Muskies have a 7-4 lead.
I'm looking at the positive, my friend.
Well, the one thing I will say is we had 6 games, a couple years ago, 6 games start off with an overtime game in the very first. And by the time we got to the last game, we had a 35-minute warm-up clock. Feed inside, and it goes in for the River Falls Falcons as we're able to get that to fall. Cuts the deficit to 1. They keep it moving is what I'm trying to say, is the officials don't waste time out of timeouts, out of breaks. We're going to get it on the floor. We're going to keep it going. There's no point in sitting around and letting you have an extra 15, 30 seconds of conversation. Dempsey shot no good, and Dempsey's off to a cold start here as he's 0 for 2 on his first 2.
Now we have officials, Dave, who've done this tournament before, so they understand the significance of just keeping the train moving on these games, keeping everybody on time. Because you don't want the players sitting around either and getting cold.
And they're also not going to waste time with conversations that don't need to be had. They'll have the time to hear out a conversation, but then at some point it's over. Ingersoll, great move in the lane, and River Falls has its first lead, 8-7 here at 16-minute mark left in the first half.
Player like Ingersoll, player like Jackson are both going to have an opportunity, I think, to take advantage inside today because they're not going up against the size that they did last night against NJCU. NJCU had 3 players inside 6'6" or bigger.
Pointer as the Muskies regain the lead.
So Muskingum, if they're going to be victorious today, they're going to have to hit some perimeter shots. He's already hit a couple here. But they're going to have to find somebody who's able to contain Ingersoll because he's got the ability to take over a game.
Bardall with the shot inside. And a returned basket for River Falls as we're knotted at 10. Here at 15:20 left to go in the contest.
He only averages, talking about Ross Ingersoll, only averages about 7 points a game, but he's shooting 50% from the field and 6'9" at this level, Dave.
Three-pointer in the corner, MJ Smith this time.
You know how much a 6'9" player with some skill inside can create matchup difficulties at this level. But Muskingum, they're hitting their 3s so far, 3 out of 4. That's going to be the recipe for success for them.
Hand check, or no, it's going to be a foul inside on the block as Mitch Clark was going to battle defensively. He'll pick up the foul. That is the first foul on the Muskies in this contest. There's get a number of subs here, including Bryce Phillips, this 5'11" sophomore guard out of St. Paul, Minnesota, coming into the game. Also Matt Keller, the 6' senior guard out of Elk River, Minnesota. And number 4, Alex Ode, the 6'7" forward junior out of Cheddick, Wisconsin. Feed inside to the aforementioned Odie, and he misses it. And we're going back the other direction, 13-10 with 14:40 remaining.
Odie actually had a great game last night off the bench, scoring in double figures.
He gets the rebound on this occasion. Coming back the other way, Falcons in possession. They're moving right to left across your computer monitor. And a battle of different shades of red thrown into the corner, and that is a turnover.
Looking into the red seats. At this point, there's obviously not as many fans for this final game, as most of the teams have already left and begun their treks back across the country or wherever they call home. We've gone almost 6 minutes. Dempsey has not scored yet. I don't know how often that can ever happen. So
fair.
So far, they've contained him, but containing can only go on for so long.
Continue to
Stensgaard's doing an awesome job on him.
Yeah, no, he's staying. Well, got a little over-committed there, and Dempsey drives in and gets it. He was doing a good job, but then he got baited into the crossover. 15-10 lead now for the Fighting Muskies.
You're not going to completely shut a player down like Dempsey, but Stensgaard's doing a good job of keeping him in front of him and not making it easy for Dempsey. And what that's going to do, it's going to force other guys to try to beat you.
Three-pointer, nothing but net on the other side of the court.
I was impressed by Jackson last night. He got in the foul trouble early, and him being out of the game kind of changed that dynamic. They want to keep him out there. We'll see how close River Falls has these hand checks called tonight.
And 2 points in the other direction. So we're trading baskets at this point in the opener.
Because last night, Dave, they had a lot, as that ball is sailing out of bounds. Last night, they had a lot of very touchy calls. It was going both ways, so it was fair. But they had 4 players with 3 or more fouls very early, I think, in the third quarter, in the women's game. In the second half yesterday.
Who's tired?
Sorry, Gordon.
Exactly. Dempsey with it. Top of the key. It's a 1v1 battle. Goes to the lane and puts it in. Wow, the acceleration. And the Muskies have a 6-point lead, 19-13.
And he did a nice job of elevating over the outstretched hands of Odie, who did his job. He was in the right spot.
Missed basket on the other end. Muskies with it, coming back the other direction. Massinelli, drive in, gets that one rejected. He hits the floor hard. Here come the Falcons the other direction. Three-pointer popped, left well short, just barely caught iron off the shot from Keller.
I think he forced that one a little bit too.
Yeah, probably a little too early, right?
Face. Yeah.
Dempsey step back, three-pointer, nothing but net. He missed his first 2 shots. He's been unstoppable since.
Just give him the MVP award. I don't care what the outcome of this game is. Just give it to him. Pat Coleman, where are you? Mark it down.
Another miss on the other end. We're coming back the other direction with the Muskies leading 22-13. Dempsey feeling it, pops it, hits it. He's unstoppable now, and it's a timeout, Falcons.
He is a shooter, and you know what they say about shooters. They catch fire, they get streaky, and boom, it's over. Dempsey 10 points in a matter of about 2.5 minutes, if that. He has single-handedly ignited this 10-0 run.
0 for 2 to his opening shots, 4 for 4 since, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc, along with 2 assists.
Such a smooth release on the shot, Dave. He's ignited a 15-3 run over the last 334.
And 10-0 in the last 140.
I was joking with you guys before, I think actually last night we were talking about what the single-game scoring record is here, which is 40 points. If there's any player we've had here recently who is capable of making that mark go away, this is Kid Dempsey. He's a special scorer.
A couple years ago, it would have been, what's his name for Ohio Wesleyan?
Axelrod.
Axelrod.
Yeah.
Prior to that, it might have been Ashton Francis, but he hadn't kind of matured by that point.
And Bonnicum was never that kind of a scorer.
No, Bonnicum was never that kind of a scorer. You're right. Pat helping out, 13:54. So in a minute and a half, he scored all of his 10 points, says Dempsey. So that's.
I said 2.5.
Jeez.
I was a minute off. That's how fast it happened.
11:15 left. Dump backed out. River Falls looking for an answer. Dempsey gets a steal. He's going the other way. Can he make it 12? No. He gets a tech for hanging on the rim. So he misses the dunk, then tries to stay there, grab the ball, and put it in. And as a result, he'll pick up the technical foul for hanging out, having a cup of coffee on the rim, and trying to make a showcase highlight.
I mean, he can definitely shoot threes. I mean, the dunking ability, I think we found his weakness.
Well, he can get up better than I ever could. Dempsey's actually having a conversation with the official as to what specifically he shouldn't have done. I think we all know what he shouldn't have done. Taking the free throws is Stensgaard, and he hits the first one.
I mean, I give him a 10 for the attempt.
No.
The execution's where he struggled.
Isn't that where it all starts? Sorry, we got an extra point
well,
on
attempts
there.
actually got 2 T's, but you don't want to get a second one.
Oh, that's right. It was a one-shot technical for those. I forgot about that. Change to that. No field goals in the last 2.5 plus for the Falcons. They need one here as they're suddenly down 9 thanks to the Dempsey show. Feed inside. Jackson going to work. Still going to work. Puts it up. Count it. Going to the line. Referees look at each other to determine if both of them had the same call, different call, or something in between. They will count it. The foul will go on. I think that went on Karish. Chance at a three-point play here. I told you, chirping is a little less than you think it is, as we had a moment there to hear it.
I'm trying to be polite here.
Lost that politeness wish a while back.
How many polite guys do you know from Jersey?
Dempsey now going to work again. Kicking to the corner to his teammate. Kick out on the far side now to Bardal. Dempsey back with it.
That crossover is just so dangerous.
I said Kardish was taking the free throws. It was actually Stensgaard, and I apologize. Stensgaard, good defense there as Dempsey's now 0 for his last 2. That means he'll make his next 7.
Well, listen, one was an aggressive drive to the window that nearly went in. The other one was a dunk that he just didn't elevate enough.
Three-pointer, no good for the Falcons, who are now only one made basket in the last 3 some odd minutes as we're under 10 minutes to play here in the first half. Dempsey will use the screen. He's now got a token double team, which means someone's open. Gets it back. Stensgaard lines him up. Dempsey says, fine, I'll take the 3. Front iron, no good. Fight for the rebound goes to the Falcons. They've got a numbers advantage if they can hurry. Quickly up ahead, Jackson, ball comes loose. It's on the floor. And missing the shot there was Reek. And ball goes out of bounds. It will stay Falcons possession with 21 on the shot clock as Stensgaard will exit, and back in the game comes Matt Keller as we'll get a delay here and bringing in Ross Ingersoll as well, and he'll replace Bryce Phillips. And then we'll get a sub from the Fighting Muskies as Trey Singleton will come in, giving Dempsey a break. Quick side note, if they were ever to make a change in the substitution rule, I almost wish they went to the hockey mentality. You're there at the buzzer, and then you're only allowed one change after the home team gets the advantage.
I think that would save some time as well.
Spin in the lane by Jackson. He sends it too far over the far edge.
See how River Falls capitalizes with Dempsey on the bench. He did not take a break at all. He played a full 40 against Ramapo.
9:08 remaining here in the hands now of Singleton. Now back in the hands of Smith. Far side with it, it's Keith. Pass inside to Huffman, and he's able to get it to fall. 10-point lead for the Muskies, who have led. Their largest lead is 12 in this one.
Huffman scored 5 on 2 shots in the game against Ramapo.
Mishandle on the far side by Reek, though the pass from Weirden was a little bit up court for him.
The reason I mentioned that with Huffman is that's really the first true inside points that they've gotten in this game. Virtually everything else has either been a drive to the rim or perimeter shot. Yeah.
Great stat system we've got gives us that look, too, as a three-pointer missed by Singleton.
That is true. I haven't looked at the shot chart yet, so I will confirm that, but I was trying to do it off
No,
memory.
I was just thinking in my head, just the advantages as analytics have come in all sports. Of course, I cover Major League Baseball in the quote-unquote off-season. I keep saying the off-season, though Major League Baseball probably has me busier in working than basketball. And I don't mean just in a period of time. So this might be my off-season, but in my baseball work, analytics is a huge part of the work, and it's changing the game.
Yeah, and I mean, as you know, and some of the audience know, I'm the lead statistician for the New York Jets in the NFL, and some numbers that we have to concentrate on.
Rebound put back by Odie.
Include such things that you would never think of before as yards after a catch. So we got to be very specific where the ball was caught. Got to watch replay. Make
Ours
sure that's
is
right.
mainly making sure everything is accurate video clip wise, and everything is automatic from there. It's insane, the technology being used, and that's going to be an offensive charge. As sitting under the, or not even sitting outside the lane, having a cup of coffee, reading his newspaper, which is a new thing for the millennials.
What's a newspaper?
Yeah, exactly, but he did it with his bar doll, and he drew the foul from Weirden. I just like saying it that way, and so I have some fun with it. Second foul on River Falls, so it's been a pretty clean game so far. 5 fouls in the opening 12 and a half minutes. As that ball will deflect out of bounds, it'll be Fighting Muskies' possession.
And
Fighting Muskies, by the way, their mascot, a fish.
I did look at the shot chart. That was the first shot anywhere inside the actual paint.
That went in?
That went in.
Yeah.
That went in.
Dempsey's back out there, by the way, and he's taking a 15-footer, 17-footer, let's call it. Missed that one. He's like Ashton Francis in many ways. Quick feed inside, great look up court, and Weirden gets the 2 points. And River Falls cuts the deficit to within 6.
You saw Francis play. I did not. What is the comparison for those who are not familiar with the former Wheaton All-American?
Pop shot, far side miss. Dempsey's taller than Francis was. Francis a little stockier. Both of them have this ability to quickly inside. Ingersoll misses the shot. Odie with the rebound tries to feed Weirden. They'll kick it out, and they'll try and reset. I'll try and get a point here across, but Ashton Francis and Dempsey have this ability to shoot from almost anywhere. Three-pointer no good from the corner. Especially off the dribble, a change of pace, able to lull a defense asleep, able to pop a three when you don't think he's going to take it. Nice long jumper from Singleton, and it's a 29-21 lead. Also the ability to take over a game but not remove his teammates from the game type mentality.
And I think that last part is probably the key, and that's why they went to the Final Four last year with Wheaton, because as good as he was, as that ball is thrown away by Stensgaard, as good as Francis was, and he was putting up, 60 points
in the ultimately
NCAA
put up 60
tournament,
in the tournament, yeah.
But not taking his team out of the game.
Yeah, in the Final Four, he got his points. He certainly did a nice job. But they needed his teammates to step up. Unfortunately, the teammates could only go so far. They did a good job of defending against Francis, though he still got his points, especially in the first half. He put on an absolute show in the first half. I'll say a quick note about his 60 in a second here, as the Muskies have the ball going around the double team of Singleton into the corner, three-pointer on the way. Nothing but the bottom of the net for Carson Carter, the sophomore forward out of Johnstown, Ohio. So I called the 53-point once record by the great Guilford forward. Sorry, getting distracted because I see Stensgaard loading up. Hits the back iron, no good. Odie with a great rebound. Feed it into Jackson. He'll go to work. Man, he spins a bunch. Keeps his pivot foot locked down. Cannot get that to fall. Dempsey's about to put on a highlight reel. Drives to the lane, gets fouled, and it's on the floor. Guilford forward. Of course, I go and promptly forget his name. Ben Strong. Ben Strong put up 53 points in a triple overtime game that wouldn't have happened if his teammate Jordan Snipes hadn't sniped one from 35 feet that was a laser beam to the backboard. I thought that performance by Strong was the best I'd ever would see. And I got the privilege of calling that game. Then watching Francis score 60 in 40 minutes at Augustana to go to the championship weekend was phenomenal to watch. Three-pointer no good from Singleton.
Good.
But he made it look easy. That's what was so scary about Aston Francis.
And he really came out of nowhere because he was not on
we saw him here a couple years prior. Three-pointer no good.
But he was a good player. He was not a polished All-American.
He couldn't. He would take those shots, and it was more of a liability because he couldn't hit those shots. He worked on his game so hard to improve it, but that's what made him so good. Dempsey loses the handle, going the other way. Reek, player control foul. That's the second one on River Falls in this half.
Tremendous job there by Gensler, who came off the bench there and was able to force that. He got back, did a good job coming back, staying with the play, got his feet set, and then made it easy for the official to make that call.
He's Gordon Mann. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and you're Quincy McHugh. I'm not
kidding. At least I used a different name. You should have said I was Pat Coleman. That would have been funnier. He's Ira Thor. I'm Dave McHugh. We are bringing you the D3 Soccer Championship game from Greensboro. Just kidding.
The wrong part of the month.
Wrong part of the month, wrong sport, wrong place,
that was only 3 weeks ago, though.
It was. Dempsey, the drive. Yeah, short time between Thanksgiving and Christmas means it was 3 weeks ago for us, whereas last year I think it was 5 weeks. Drive in the paint, great ball movement. The give and go gives Matt Keller the ability to put that one home. And it's a 32-23 game. It's the the reverse one, the radar score. No matter how you look at it, frontwards, backwards, it's the same score. Driving to the paint, no good for Singleton.
It's called a palindrome, brother.
Thank you.
Palindrome.
Hey, you know what? I've never told you my vocabulary was the most amazing in the world. That's a Gordon Mann thrill.
My SAT scores did get me into college because it wasn't my grades.
My SAT scores got me into college too, but I had time to think about it. Foul inside on Muskingum. That'll be their fourth. And Ira Thor and I were on the call for the fourth straight year for men's soccer, third straight year for women's in Division III, calling the semifinals and championship. Looking forward to hopefully being back again next year.
I've already booked my flight.
I know you have. Nice drive in the lane by Stensgaard. And it's a 32-25 game. I'm looking forward to being back for men's basketball, which is this year will be Elite Eight and Final Four at Fort Wayne. Dempsey, the drive, and he gets the ring around the Rosie to work.
Soccer-wise, I'm really curious to see how Tufts, after losing so much, after winning a third title in
6 years.
6 years, if they're able to recover, and if Amherst, with the best player that I've seen in men's soccer in probably a decade.
Wrong. 4th and 6, 3rd and
I think it's 3rd and 4. Yeah. Because they usually win in odd number years. This was an even number year.
And a blocking foul and a late call. I think the wing official was waiting to see if the inside official had a better angle. And he's right about it. Fans didn't like it, but he's right. There was a step in there. And so that's the 5th team foul.
I said that backwards, by the way. Tufts usually wins in even number years.
Even number years.
They won
right.
in odd number year this year.
Have you met their coach? That's why I'm not worried.
Shapiro? I mean, listen. Number one, I think he's going to have options elsewhere if he chooses to.
I think he would have already had him. I think he doesn't want him.
It's nice to see some of these coaches that are happy where they are, and they're not looking to go to a bigger pond.
I agree with you. No, I absolutely agree with you.
But as good as Coach Shapiro is at Tufts, that's a tall order right there, replacing as much as he's losing.
First free throw, no good. Second one is good as the Falcons are within 8. They have been struggling to kind of cut it to less than that. A whole bunch of you listening in. Hope you enjoying it. And good day, Ross from Tasmania. He's off the mainland of Australia. And thanks for tuning in. I'm going to guess it's about 18 hours ahead of, right, Ross? I believe I'm right on that. Than we are here.
It's already 2020.
I already call a game for a Division III school in my area, and they have a player for Melbourne, and I know it's 16 hours there. Missed opportunity, easy rebound there. You cannot let Ingersoll not only get the shot, but then get an easy rebound, but a tremendous steal there from Massanelli. And so Muskies will come the other way. Dempsey lost the ball for a second, regains it. Crossover, drive to the lane, puts it up. He'll draw the foul, will not get the basket. I had an interesting thought from someone I was curious about earlier today, talking about that the rims here might be stiff, and it might be because these rims probably don't get a ton of work all year long. What are your thoughts? That a lot of the missed shots we're seeing is because the rims are so stiff, we're not getting a normal bounce that you would get.
I don't even think it's as much as that. It's something that we've talked about probably 2 or 3 years ago here, was most of these players are not familiar at shooting at all this open space behind
We
them.
talk about that every year, and I don't disagree, but I bring it up because Gordon or Pat had a conversation with one of the women's teams, and they were saying they felt like a lot of their shots were just kind of clanking off.
So it's not as much
the
as
rim.
spring action that you
Right,
see.
it's more of a stiff.
Well, if anything, it would be just from the lack of use.
Well, that's my point, is
Yeah.
these don't get the use a lot of rims in colleges and even other arenas get. This arena is very busy. They just have
It's
maybe
not just
4 or
typically for
5 basketball
yeah.
tournaments an entire year.
I mean, this arena obviously is a home for rodeo.
Oh, thrown it away, a great opportunity, threw it behind them.
Rodeo and equestrian. And, I mean, just this weekend while we were here announcing basketball, upstairs was one of the biggest youth bowling tournaments in the country.
Well, and the other thing they do here, too, in about a month's time, the Muskingum Auto Show will be here. That's a big event. That takes up a week. Anyway, my point being is I think it was an interesting point, and we'll see how it plays out here.
I mean,
80 seconds left to go in the half.
It is definitely something to think about. I mean, a normal gym in Division
We've
3.
got a foul in the battle for Ingersoll.
Difference between D1 and D3.
Bardal will pick it up.
A majority of D1 schools have their own practice gyms, so they're not actually practicing most of the time on their game floor. Obviously, the mid-majors and below, that's a different story. In D3, you don't typically have those practice gyms. You may have 2 or 3 courts in your gym, but at some point in time, Dave, you are practicing on your main game floor.
Going the other way here, Ingersoll's going to pick up the offensive foul, so the battle inside continues, and now we've got a foul on either side in that said battle. Muskingum, by the way, with 16 fouls, and 16 fouls for both teams, actually, as I update our scoreboard and put bonuses in. Because the next time either team fouls, the next 65 seconds, we'll be going to the line. Dempsey's got a double team off of the screen. Muskies with a 35-26 lead, kind of keeping River Falls so far at arm's length for most of this first half. Dempsey's got the ball, man-to-man defense from the Falcons. Stensgaard lining him up. Dempsey, kick out, three-pointer on the way, nothing but the bottom of the net for Mr. Bartle.
His first 3, Muskingum, is 7 for 12, 58% from three-point range.
Ingersoll.
River Falls just
That's
one
going
of
the other
9.
way. Ingersoll's got to stop hooking. He's bringing that arm around Ira. He's screening off the defender and holding him back and going around him, and that's twice now he's gotten that called on him.
It will be interesting to see how River Falls responds here in the second half. They trailed NJCU yesterday by 14.
Yeah, that's true.
And they were able to battle back. Actually made it a 4-point game. They were down 14 with 4 minutes to go.
Yep.
Made it a 4-point game at the half. And then it was a back and forth, really entertaining second half until they ignited in the final about 2.5, 3 minutes.
There's a 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock, so Dempsey's holding on here.
They need to find another way to score. 3-point shooting right now, it's not going down for River Falls. They have to get more creative inside because they have huge size advantage over the Muskies.
4 seconds on the shot clock. Dempsey, step back 3, does not catch iron. Well, they reset the shot clock anyway. That'll be end of the half. It could have been a travel, could have been end of the half. You take your pick. It doesn't matter as we hit the end of the first here. And Ira, an interesting and quick first half.
Yeah, especially for a game that did not start on time. A very quick first half. It's to me right now, it's the 3-point shooting. Dempsey has 13, which is, I hate to say it, actually an off day for him. Especially,
he's 5 of 13 after being 4 for 6 at one point.
Yeah,
4 in a row.
We talked about streaky.
He's 1 for 7 since.
He scored 10 in a row, and then they took him out of the game, and he's cooled off a little bit since then. But they're getting other contributions because they have 6 other players have actually scored now. Singleton's got 7. He is that other player, that other option. Both of those guys have 20 points. Well, I mean, you look at River Falls as a team, struggling mightily from 3-point range, missing some fairly easy 2s, which is they weren't doing yesterday. They need to find ways. They have 10 turnovers as well, where just 4 from the Muskies. Dave, right now Muskingum's not making many mistakes, and they're hitting some open shots, doing a good job coming off the screen on multiple occasions to get that open look. they're just a more polished team. You wonder if that day off, remember, because they played Saturday, they were off yesterday. If that helps, River Falls is playing this game on basically 24 hours rest.
Take a break. Speaking of rest, we'll rest our voices, get you back here in a battle of different shades of red and a tournament where the main color is orange. We will bring you back for the final 10 minutes of said, or 20 minutes of said tournament, and get you stats and all that. Get a chance, stretch your legs, get a bite to eat if you need, or a drink. And now it's late on the East Coast and central parts of the country. We appreciate you tuning in. Muskingum leads Wisconsin River Falls 38-26 at the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic at halftime. We'll be back shortly with everything else.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
This is why we love sports. It's in the way they play, free from the pressures and all the money talk. Playing for simply the love of the game, where everyone has a shot at their definition of success on and off the field. This is what we love about sports, and what we can still love about college sports.
My name is Marcus Walker. I was All-State, won a state championship, a high school All-American, and played college and pro ball. I played because I love the game. I grind to be the best. I sweat because I put in work. I'm strong because I believe. When I want to bring it before game time, I come to the house that college basketball built, the CBE. No matter your skill, take it to another level. Elevate your game right here at the College Basketball Experience at Sprint Center.
It starts right when you hit the court. You imagine your finest moment. The game-winning shot that gets you to the dance, a monster dunk or no-look pass, and cutting down the net. Sports lets us dream of our own success and prepare us for our finest moments on and off the court.
Bad. What are you doing? Looking worthless. They'll hurt you. You're worthless. It's pointless.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
In any way that we can.
To get a friend home safe.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
To stand up.
To make our community safe for all.
It's on us.
It's on us to look out for each other at parties.
It's on us.
To be more than just a bystander.
To step up and say something.
It's on us, all of us.
To stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
I coined my definition of success in 1934. My definition of success is peace of mind attained only through self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable. It's like reputation and character. Reputation is what others perceive you to be. Character is what you are.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
I used to never really talk. Ever. I was afraid if I said something wrong, everyone would laugh at me. But then I started to play golf with Special Olympics. It helped me to find my voice. And now everyone else is speechless.
Football has taught me a lot throughout my life. It's definitely had a huge imprint on who I am as a person. Competing at a Division III level created that opportunity for me to go to college. Not only was I the first one in my family to graduate college, but I was really the first one to even go. Being the first one, I'm breaking that cycle, and now that I've graduated, I'm not sure what's the next step, but I know I have a lot of doors open. And a lot of those are open because I played football and ran track here at Otterbein.
Great moments are born from great opportunity. That's what you have here tonight. That's what you've earned here tonight. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
You may not realize it, but these words, often used to describe someone with a mental health condition, can be very harmful. In a country where 1 in 5 people are affected by a mental health condition, it's time for all of us to step up and change the conversation. Just because someone's struggle isn't obvious on the outside doesn't mean they aren't hurting on the inside. We need to see the person, not the condition. Join with me, pledge to be stigma-free.
Coach of the Year, Administrator of the Year, All-America Team, Wade Trophy. The WBCA doesn't just honor coaches, but players, administrators, and much more. The WBCA strives to honor those who have contributed to the advancement of women's basketball. Celebrate the present, honor the past, look to the future.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of,
I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school. It's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
Diving in college taught me to strive and be the best athlete I can be, but also the best student I can be. My coaches always made sure that the student comes first, because not everyone's going to become a professional athlete. So they make sure that we will do great in academics. I knew that would only open the door to my future, and I'm really excited to start my dream program for physical therapy.
Welcome back courtside to the final game of the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic in Las Vegas at South Point Arena. Hotel and Casino, we may add as well. Of course, put on by Sport Tours International as well, our friends and partners there. Quick note, want to thank Blue Frame Technology for their production truck software, which they allow us to use for this tournament as a way of giving you this game with a lot of bells and whistles, and as we do every year, we look to improve into next year as well. I'm Dave McHugh alongside Ira Thor, and let's take a look at halftime statistics for this one between the Falcons of River Falls and the Muskies of Muskingum. And Muskies, not surprisingly, Ira, leading most of the categories. Shooting, certainly. One they're not leading is rebounding, and it's interesting because River Falls hasn't really been able to take that rebounding edge.
Yeah, got
and do anything with it.
They have an 8-point edge there on the rebounds, 8-2 on the offense, but they only got 4 points on second chances.
Yeah.
I talked about it extensively in the first half, how they have a much bigger size advantage today than yesterday against the Gothic Knights, where you had all these big bodies banging inside. Today, it's definitely should be an inside versus outside type of matchup. Well, yes, it has been for Muskingum. They're drilling them from three-point range. But River Falls right now, just 18 points inside. That's got to be their bread and butter here. Yep. They're not getting, especially now that they're not getting anything to fall from deep.
Muskies are shooting 46.7% from the floor and 53.8% from deep. Let's see, Julian Jackson leading the team with 9 points. He's also drawn 4 fouls, though he's a -6, interestingly enough, for the game. Marcus Dempsey leading the Muskies with 13 points. He's a +10, not surprisingly, when he's on the floor. As we get ready for second half action here, we'll get you an idea of who's on the floor in just a moment as we wait for halftime to officially end. River Falls will now be going left to right, wearing their red uniforms with black numbers and trim. And the Muskies will be wearing the white uniforms, moving right to left in their red darker red uniforms as we are underway. Here in the second, on the floor for River Falls as they quickly convert and put 2 points on the board. It was the nice basket that time by Ingersoll. They've got Stensgaard, Keller, Ingersoll, Worden, and Jackson on the floor. 3-point attempt, far side, rattles out for the Muskies. They've got Dempsey, Singleton, Clark, Smith, and Bartle on the floor. 30 seconds in, we've already been up and down the floor. By the way, 6 timeouts, full complement for the Muskies. 5 timeouts remaining for River Falls as they used one. Let's say about 5 minutes. Less than that, about 2 minutes into the game, I think. Head coach, of course, for the Falcons is Jeff Burkhoff in his 14th season, and he's seen his team now 2 for 2 to start this second half, cut the deficit to 8.
Well, it's exactly what we just talked about a moment ago before starting the second half, and I'm pretty sure that was a big conversation at halftime with Coach Burkhoff's squad. Penetrate inside, get those points, use your size as an advantage, and force Muskingum to continue to hit shots. They might, but if you can start putting pressure on by getting this a margin closer, Dave, it's not as easy when you don't have a big lead.
Dempsey falls as he hits the deck, but he somehow gets it into the corner for an attempt by Smith, but he misses the 3. We'll come back the other direction after another trip down the floor, and Muskies cannot convert. Ingersoll misses the shot, but he will draw the foul, I think, on the shot. I think it was just a slightly late whistle. And a foul will be called on Bartle. That is his second personal foul, first for the Muskies in this half. It was a shooting scenario. So to the line goes Ingersoll, and he misses, I apologize. He makes the first. I did mean makes the first. Season stats entering the day.
50% foul shooter on the season.
Yeah, 50%. He makes both, though. He looked pretty good doing it. And including now, he is right at 50%. Nice drive and score there for Singleton. And the first 2 points of this half for the Muskies. 3-pointer top of the key, rattles home as the Falcons have come out firing, and Jackson hits that tray.
Just their second triple of the game, and he had so much time, Dave, to settle.
Dempsey shoots, forced it, didn't fall.
He did a great job
rebound.
setting his feet, and just a nice fluid motion on the follow through by Jackson.
Clark's got it. He's the one who got the rebound. He's trying to push Jackson back. Not going anywhere. Nice kiss off the glass with the turnaround right-hander. And it's back out to a 7-point lead.
That could have been an offensive foul the way he stuck an elbow high in the sternum.
I think if he had shoved him one more time, that whistle would have come. Because I think that shove would have been a little bit more demonstrative. Jackson with a nice move on the other end. Unfortunately, can't get that one to fall. And Dempsey will come up the court with the ball as we approach 17 minutes left to go in this contest. 42-35, the Muskies lead. Dempsey drive, takes the hit from Ingersoll. He'll go to the line for the 3-point opportunity.
Ingersoll hit the floor hard too. No fear as he goes in. Dempsey, 6'1", going up against 6'9" Ingersoll there, and elevated right up there with the big man. Drew the contact, landed on his backside, fortunately for him, rather than his back.
Massinelli comes into the game for the Muskies. He'll replace Smith, and into the game for the Falcons comes Odie, and he replaces Ingersoll. Ingersoll, I think, he did pick up his third. Dempsey, in the meantime, converts the 3-point play, and suddenly the lead is back out to 10. The biggest the lead has been for Muskingum in this game is 12. It was late in the first half.
That was a problem yesterday.
Jackson misses the shot.
For Ingersoll anyway, as he got into serious foul trouble. And he only played yesterday about 17 and a half minutes because of that foul trouble.
Going the other direction. Oh, what a swipe by Singleton as Keller was going up for the layup.
And that gets the Muskies bench electrified. Sometimes it's not the block, sometimes it's the hustle. Came back, never even let him leave his feet with a shot.
He's just getting his left foot up, it looked like, or his right foot up, I should say. We get a holding foul on Massinelli as he was cutting, as his offensive assignment was cutting through. I lost track of who it was.
I've always felt, and I think most coaches will have the same opinion, defense is an attitude. Yep. He did not give up in that play. That was a prideful play. He wasn't going to get beat.
Especially after the steal. 15 seconds on the shot clock in the hands of Keller. Now inside to Jackson. Jackson will go to work on Clark. Jackson, nice move. Turn around and hits the 2. I like watching Jackson work inside. He won't give up. He keeps his pivot foot planted, and he just works to get his shot off.
Honorable mention, all WIAC performer a year ago, and that says a lot in that league.
Now Dempsey forces the issue. He'll draw the foul at the very least. Stensgaard a little frustrated, I think, with the push-off, and Stensgaard's going to be the one who draws the foul, though he could easily have gone against Worden. So Dempsey, whoa, there's no way he was shooting. There was no way he was shooting. Now the official says he saw him put up the ball for a shot, but Dempsey had no intent of shooting there, Ira.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So, well, I mean, they've had such a good game overall that I guess you're entitled to a bad call now and then.
It happens. Overall, it's been solid, but that one's a miss.
I made a bad call last night myself.
Well,
that was.
You stayed up. Dempsey 1 for 2, so it ends up working in River Falls' benefit as they now trail by 9. With it is Keller, and Keller tries to go inside, and they're going to call the foul inside on Carter, trying to body up Jackson defensively, and that is team foul number 3. Inbounds play for under the basket. Jackson will set the screen for Stensgaard. Stensgaard finds himself open but kicks out. Three-pointer on the way. Nothing but, well, it was a little bit of rim, wasn't there?
Mostly nothing but net.
Mostly net there as Keller finds the open shot, and it's a 6-point deficit now for the Falcons.
And River
Dempsey,
Falls, after going 1 of 9 from three-point range in the first half, Dave, now 2 for 2. Here in the second.
Dempsey against Stensgaard, drives in. Stensgaard keeps him at bay. Jackson grabs the rebound. Quickly up to Odie. Odie stops, pulls back. No, he didn't have numbers, and they'll reset from here as Keller will dish it off to Stensgaard inside to Odie. Odie, spin move, finds the lane. Opportunity with the left hand, and suddenly it's a 4-point ball game as River Falls has come back in here. And I think Muskingum's, well, no, they're going to keep it going. Travis Schwab wants the magenta to stay out on the floor.
And it's as if everything you and I talked about what River Falls needed to do in the second half has clearly come to fruition, because they have really started to concentrate on that inside game. That's why they're back in this one.
Three-pointer, front iron, no good. Long rebound, picked up and put back in by Singleton. He fouls his own shot. If you're a young one watching the game at home, remember, follow your shot. There's a textbook reason as to why. Jackson got fouled. Good call. Doesn't like it, but hey, you can't. Bartles, no way he's getting to that ball, Ira, without coming across the wrist to do it.
Yeah, absolutely not. And for Jackson, keep pushing him inside. Keep forcing it to him. Make him work inside, because right now the entire offense is flowing around his ability to create inside the paint. He has the ability, Dave, to turn either way. He's effective with both hands, it appears. First time I've seen him in his career is this weekend. He's a fun little player in a league that has many players that you want to come out and see on a nightly basis.
Tanner Gensler into the game for the first time, 6'4" freshman forward out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Josh Huffman into the game, the Williamstown, West Virginia native, sophomore, 6'5", into the game as well, as both were hit. For other reason, our system didn't update there. 48-44 now, as River Falls once again gets to within 4, though Jackson will check out now. We'll reset the floor here momentarily. For Muskingum, it's Dempsey, Massanelli, Singleton, Gensler, and Huffman on the floor. And Dempsey will get it now, and Stensgaard will once again go one-on-one with him defensively. Pass it to the near side. Drive in, blocked by Odie.
But he got his own rebound again.
Singleton did it again. Yep, stayed with it. 3 seconds, so 2 seconds of the shot clock. Dempsey up and under, cannot get it to fall. Great move. But here comes River Falls. Nope, they don't have the numbers. Good job by the Muskies to get back on defense as Stensgaard will set up the offense. It's Stensgaard, Odie, Keller, O'Neal, Worden. Near side, Odie, three-pointer, back iron, no good. Rebound collected by Singleton, who has been a rebounding machine. He's now got 8, and that means timeout for the Muskies as they've got a 48-44 lead. It's a full timeout. We will take it as well. Got a thriller happening here. 13:48 left in the second half. Muskies with a 4-point lead in the final game of the D3Hoops.com Classic.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
You may not realize it, but these words, often used to describe someone with a mental health condition, can be very harmful. In a country where 1 in 5 people are affected by a mental health condition, it's time for all of us to step up and change the conversation. Just because someone's struggle isn't obvious on the outside doesn't mean they aren't hurting on the inside. We need to see the person, not the condition. Join with me, pledge to be stigma-free.
Welcome back as we get ready to come out of the timeout here in the second half. 13:48 remaining. Muskies of Muskingum leading the Falcons of River Falls 48-44. Muskies in the white uniforms, River Falls in the red. For Muskingum, it's Dempsey, Massanelli, Singleton, Gensler, Huffman. And for River Falls, it's Stensgaard, Odie, Keller, O'Neill, and Worden. Dempsey's got the ball. He is 17 points on 6 of 7 shooting. He was 4 for 6 at one point. And he gets blocked by Odie yet again.
Really impressed with just how focused he is defensively. Second game in a row.
Three-pointer catches the wrong part of the netting for Smith. Correction for Keller. Now being guarded by Keller is guarding Massanelli. Massanelli spin move and travel violation.
Yeah.
Drag the pivot foot. They may not like it, but looked pretty obvious from our angle.
That was a good call there, as he was definitely trying to do a little bit too much there. He had a wide open player on the right wing.
Yeah, he did. He checks out. I think I saw coming in the game, returning the game, was Smith. Odie with the ball. Stensgaard skip pass far side. Three-pointer on the way from Keller. Nothing but net.
Good looking shot from Keller. Had enough time to catch and just elevate. Nice looking jump shot.
Falcons haven't been this close in quite a while. Dempsey step back three. He buries it. Back out to a 4-point lead as Dempsey hits another three. First time since about midway through the first half.
He now has 20, but it took him a while to get there.
7 of 19 after, as we said, 4 of 6. So you can do the math. 3 of 13. But he does have 20 and 26 minutes of action. 10 seconds on the shot clock. On the screen. Couldn't hold on to it. Odie then tried to feed O'Neill, who's into the game, and O'Neill couldn't hold on to it. Driving in, kick out pass to Huffman. Huffman misses his shot.
This is everything.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. And so the River Falls has a chance to once again cut into this 4-point lead. They got to within 1 on a 3. Good ball movement led to that. Near side with it is Worden. He'll hand it off to Keller. He's trying to make sure he's got some space. Now to Stensgaard. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Stensgaard faked like he was going to shoot. Everyone bought it. But good defense on Odie. Kept that from being another shot. Baby hook, no good from O'Neill. And as Odie was going up for the rebound, he got undercut that time by Huffman.
Big two-hand push in the back. Odie, who yesterday was creating matchup problems on the boards, wasn't much of a scorer, but was certainly creating matchup problems on the boards. Same thing again, gets himself in a good position on the lower block and forces Muskingum to try to displace him.
Odie was, as he was going up for that rebound, was also shooting, and that's why he's on the line to shoot two here. Now hits the first. That's his first make. Will reset the floor here. I do notice that Reek is on the floor for the first time in this half, but we'll reset as we've had a number of subs.
Odie actually did have 14 off the bench last night, 6 out of 10, but it wasn't the scoring for him that was valuable.
Right.
It was the rebounding. He had 8 rebounds, and he was frustrating the Gothic Knights throughout the game. Doing a little bit more of the same here against the Muskies, as they don't really have a way to keep him out of that space. Every time that River Falls is missing short, he's been there for the second chance.
2-point game now. Dempsey, Stensgaard, Dempsey, Stensgaard, Dempsey, Stensgaard, Dempsey missed the layup. I think he expected Stensgaard to go up with him. Stensgaard decided he'd been beat and let it go. And as a result, Dempsey misses it, and Dempsey's still frustrated with himself as he's trying to get on defense. They need a switch. They finally get it. Wow. They had Jackson with Dempsey on him for a while there. Stensgaard misses the follow-away. Here come the Muskies the other way. They do not have numbers, and Dempsey will call it off here. He'll try and use a screen from Clark. There's a double team. He can't get it to Clark. Basically, the double team comes. River Falls immediately goes into a three-person zone inside as Odie ties up Dempsey, but will be called for the foul. You know what I'm saying? So they flash out on that screen to double team Dempsey or whoever's got the ball. The other three immediately fall into a triangle inside the paint to keep any pass from finding an open man successfully. 11 minutes left to go. Up top, Dempsey, Stensgaard once again on him. Dempsey wards off Stensgaard. Odie came over to try and block it, and that resulted in Dempsey having to fire it up high. It didn't go anywhere. Dempsey wanted a call, but it was Dempsey who made contact. Ball goes out of bounds. And you see Stensgaard talking about it now to him, Ira. Talking about, hey, he's pulling my arm down. He's keeping me off of him.
Yeah, officials got to pick up on that. Good backside defensive help, though, by Odie, who came over. Never got a piece of that. He had to really seriously elevate there just to alter the shot. Didn't block it, but he altered it.
Muskie's in a scoring drought. Have not scored in over 2 minutes. They're 1 for their last 7.
When you have a player with that kind of length, it forces the player to shoot a little bit differently.
Odie wide open on the ball, moving up to Jackson. And it's a tie ball game, 51-51. We had 2 ties in the first half. That's tie number 3 as Dempsey will draw the foul on Odie. And Odie has picked up 2 fouls here in quick succession, though those are the first 2 of the game.
And Dempsey stayed with his shot. He left that three-pointer well short, but instead of sitting there and watching his shot, he knew immediately, and that's a good shooter will know when he's off. He knew immediately he was off and was immediately chasing down that rebound and tracked it amongst 3 players.
Muskies regain the lead. That's their first points in 2.5 minutes. They are now 0 for 4 of their last 4 and 1 for their last 8, but he misses the second one. So just a 1-point lead. River Falls with a chance to take the lead for the first time since early in the first half. Illegal screen. Yep, saw that one coming. Odie did not stay planted. And that's his 3rd foul, I believe. I'm double checking that was on Odie. It was, so his 3rd team foul. You got to stay planted on the screen. There's a double team. The triangle forms, and Jackson gets back to help out with the man-to-man defense.
Well, this River Falls squad, they came from behind at halftime against Nebraska Wesleyan to win.
Spin move, missed the shot, and only caught the backboard, did Singleton.
Came from behind.
Yep, you're right. Beat number 6. Still currently number 6.
We haven't voted again since
right.
then. Came from behind yesterday against a good NJCU squad to win, and they're trying to do so now for the 3rd time in a row.
Odie gets his own rebound and puts it back in, and Falcons have the lead, 53-52.
I think Nebraska Wesleyan was actually 8 at the time, but
I think you're right. It was 12 here with 47 seconds left in the first half. Dempsey fall back and hits that one. That regains the lead for the Muskies, and it's a 30-second timeout called by Coach Schwab, the Ohio Wesleyan graduate of 2004, in case his former coach might be tuned in. We are courtside for the final game, the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. It's game 16 of the day.
As these teams talk it over, River Falls has, in this second half, we talked about it earlier, really started to work itself inside. And, they had scored just 18 points in the paint in the first 20 minutes. Well, they've already scored 8 here in the first 10 change of this second half. Really allowed them to not only get back into this game because of the ability to score inside, it's opened up their 3-point shot. And in the second half, they have been 3 out of 5 from 3-point range, so they're now allowing that part of their game to become relevant.
This is game 152 in D3Hoops.com Classic history. By the way, I think I made a mistake earlier. I mentioned Ohio Wesleyan had basketball will not count for Jackson was fouled earlier. Maybe his former coach is watching. Then I realized I never said Mike DeWitt. Of course, the former coach at Ohio Wesleyan.
Good friend of the folks here at D3 Hoops.
Of course. He's been out. Well, he's been at the Hoopsville Classic. Yeah, we got him out here, of course, a couple years ago.
One of the best games I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's in my top 5. I think my top one would still be Whitman versus Stevens Point that went to overtime. Step back, Stensgaard, 3-pointer, no good. Big fight for the rebound. Dempsey got sandwiched partially by his own teammate. But a foul on the rebound is going to go against the Falcons. I think it's on Keller. That is a 6-team foul. I'm trying to keep the team foul situation updated. Both teams now with 6, so we'll officially put the bonus lights on. into the corner for the three-point look. Now the drive and making contact. Ingersoll can't believe it as Gensler makes a surprising drive on Ingersoll.
That's big for the Falcons. That is foul number 4.
That's one of the other reasons Ingersoll is frustrated. But
they can't keep him on the court.
I can't tell if is that one where Gensler is earning it on the drive, because I didn't see Ingersoll necessarily do anything wrong there as the lead extends to 2. It's a tough one to call.
Well, they just can't keep him on the court. He only played 23 minutes in the Nebraska Wesleyan game. Had 3 fouls in that one, 17 minutes last night.
He'll sit for a bit. Is it 1 for 2 on the free throw line?
Now, fortunately, though, for the River Falls is that Odie has been playing lights out in his place.
8:31 left to go here. 2-point deficit for the Falcons, who've led shortly in this half. Inside to Jackson, going up against Clark. And I don't know what the fans wanted for a call, but there wasn't one there. Missed jumper there for Reek, and we'll come back the other direction with 8:12 remaining. Dempsey and Stensgaard, of course, have been next to each other in the entire contest. Inside to Clark against Jackson. Clark's going to try and go to work on Jackson, and that's going to be a travel. He repositioned his pivot foot right before he went on the attack. 8 minutes left. Been consistent. Officials have been consistent, though the tall gentleman, his first game of the tournament is this one. The other two have called 2 or 3 games so far here this weekend. And we do call it a weekend on a Monday because it is a weekend to us. Stensgaard with a nice fake. He'll drive in. Odie was there, but I don't think he expected the pop on that pass.
And the pop, he got popped in the nose with it.
By the way, Stensgaard being guarded by Singleton that time, they took Dempsey off of him. Stensgaard will not come off of Dempsey defensively on the other end of the floor. Dempsey's going to pop the 3 quick. Back iron, no good. Everybody's skying for the rebound. It's loose. Stensgaard gets it on the long rebound. He's got 2 defenders to beat. Gets it to roll through. Ties the game at 55. We'll get a 30-second timeout. Believe called by River Falls. I'm going to just wait for the official. Yep, there it is. So both teams will have 4 timeouts remaining here. Both teams are into the single bonus. Really quick, let's see here. Shooting-wise, 21 of 50 for River Falls, 20 of 50 for Muskingum. 4 of 15 from beyond the arc for River Falls, 8 of 19 for Muskingum, and then 9 of 10 from the free throw line for the Falcons, 7-11 for the Muskies.
It's really been a second half where we've seen River Falls kind of do what they did at the end. About 4 minutes or so in the game last night. Only one team, amazingly, on this men's field this year is going to leave this tournament, classic, whatever you want to call it, event, with 2 wins. Nobody else is going to do it. So a lot on the line, on some bragging rights. I know there's no tournament crown or anything like that.
Not technically.
But they are going to leave. One of these teams is going to leave.
One team's going 1-1 and one's going 2-0, right?
And there's a difference.
Dempsey, the drive, misses a shot.
There is that pride factor to begin the second half of the year.
Phillips the rebound up ahead to Jackson.
And he runs the floor so well.
And it's a 2-point lead for the Falcons. Really quick for Muskingum. It's Dempsey, Singleton, Clark who are the starters, along with Gensler and Keith now on the floor. Micah Keith, the Dover senior, 6'1". Dempsey out there.
Nice pass.
Yeah, great behind the back pass, and then a foul. You can't run through the arm, Mr. Reek. The argument being that he stuck his arm out into him, okay, maybe you can argue that, but my vantage point was he just ran through it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that was caused by the fact that they did not expect that behind the pass.
Right.
Behind the back pass by Dempsey, it was right on point, and they had to react very quickly.
It's twice Gensler's had an opportunity to get to the free throw line. He'll hit the first one here. He's 1 for 2 on the last. He'll get 3 shots here. Cuts it to within 1, misses the second. Muskingum is 1 for their last 8 with no field goals in the last 2:31. So on the floor for River Falls, it's Phillips, Reek, Odie, Keller, and Jackson. 1 more free throw coming. There's a couple subs here, so we'll double check. Muskingum, it's Dempsey, Massanelli, Singleton, Gensler, and Carter as the second one of the three, or the third one falls, ties the game at 57 with less than 6:40 to play here. Buckle up, this one should be a good finish. Odie trying to go to work, does, leaves it short. Jackson the rebound. He's triple team, kick out, saving it from going anywhere is Phillips. And they're going to call a foul, interestingly enough, on Gensler.
A good job by Jackson. Had two different looks at the basket, had the wherewithal to know he didn't have anything, didn't try to force it, and looked for another option to reset. And it's going to allow him actually ultimately, full circle, to go to the line.
Gensler out. Bardol back in. Jackson with the 1-and-1 and hits the first. Gains a 1-point lead for the Falcons. He's got one more now coming. Second one up. That one will rattle off. And the rebound pulled down by Carter. We'll go back the other direction. Massinelli with the ball. He's trying to get it to Dempsey, but Phillips all over Dempsey. A little bit different with Stensgaard not out there.
Stensgaard, of course, the transfer, Division I from South Dakota.
Far side with it. Massinelli drives the lane. Call offensive foul for push-off. I had 6 bodies, so I'm not going to be able to give you any interpretation of that.
And it was such a soft, quiet call for a second. I think everybody just stood there unsure what was happening before Massinelli realized, hey, that basket is not going to count.
Less than 6 minutes to play. Jackson, the jumper, no good. Odie, no, that's not Odie. That was Worden tried to finish. He'll get fouled in the process, so he'll go to line to shoot 2.
Worden's been very quiet despite being a starter. 20 minutes, just 4 points, 4 rebounds, only taken 3 shots.
80% free throw shooter is going to take the first and hit the first.
And that's enough to put River Falls back up on top, about the same point as yesterday when they went back in front to stay, basically.
Muskies have not hit a shot in the last 3.5 minutes. Dempsey's been quiet, 3 points since that big three-pointer.
In yesterday's game, there were 3 ties late, and JCU couldn't find a way to go in front by more than a point. River Falls hit 3 threes from 3 separate players to pull away.
Into the corner, 3 left, way short. Odie might have gotten a piece of that, but how about the rebound there by Carter in the putback? Muskies, we'll fix the score here. Muskies have a 1-point deficit, 60-59. And Dempsey skies in for the rebound there as they snuff out the Falcons on 1 shot. Falcons lead 60-59 on defense, and Dempsey tried too much there. Steal by Keller, gets around Dempsey into the front court, and they'll set up from here.
Surprised there wasn't a foul there at midcourt.
Yeah, Dempsey looked like he may have held him, but a good job by Keller to get around it. He just made a mistake on that pass. Keller was all over it. And now that's a mistake on the help defense by Carter. He got greedy trying to go for the ball, being dribbled by Worden. And Worden will go to the line for the 1-and-1 opportunities. That's the 9th team foul on the Muskies, so it means the next time it's a double bonus for River Falls. 4 timeouts each. First one is good. And that's now a 2-point lead for River Falls. Muskies are 2 for their last 10, Ira.
Well, not a time to go into a scoring drought, that's for sure. They need every point they can get down here, down the stretch, because River Falls does a nice job of closing out games. They did so against Nebraska Wesleyan.
Dempsey's trying to go 1-on-1 with Phillips for the first time. He has not had this opportunity, and Phillips is a little bit quicker than Stensgaard. Well, back out, 3-pointer on the way. Back iron, no good. Jackson skies for the rebound.
Did he get up there to pull that one down? And a big-time rebound with under 5 to go.
I think Dempsey's got to readjust because as good as Stensgaard was defensively, Phillips is a little bit quicker. And dragged his pivot foot. That's a pretty decent call there to spot that. He faked high, went to go for the long bounce pass, and then had to hesitate, and it caused him to drag it. And interesting enough, as much as Phillips has been good on Dempsey, Coach Burkhoff's going to bring Phillips out after that mistake, and he's going to bring Stensgaard back in. He's going to have a quick conversation with Phillips and tell him basically, be ready to go back in.
And that was a quick teaching moment as well.
Just over 4 minutes to play here. Massanelli hands off to Singleton. Dempsey comes to the top, but he's being guarded well by Stensgaard. So they got to hand it back to Massanelli. Massanelli, spin move, great move, off the glass, does not fall, and Jackson pulls down yet another big rebound.
And Jackson on the boards, he's now got 12 rebounds, along with 21 points. I don't know, maybe he's your tournament MVP as River Falls finds a way to pull this one out.
3:43 left to go in this contest. River Falls with a 3-point lead. I will fix it on our system. Doesn't want to take. Now it does. 62-59. Stensgaard makes it 64-59. 3:30 left to go here. Suddenly the biggest lead of the contest for River Falls.
Similar to yesterday.
Dempsey, Stensgaard. Dempsey trying to find an opportunity. He'll back up for the three. Stensgaard stepped into him. That's a good call.
Yep.
Dempsey baited him into it, essentially.
Oh, absolutely. I was watching the eyes of Stensgaard the entire time, and he was trying to stay with Dempsey, but Dempsey just so quick on that release.
Here's the problem. Coach Burkhoff's like, he didn't touch him high. The problem was Dempsey went up as he takes the first free throw and misses. And so now it's a decent foul, to be honest with you. Stensgaard spun into where he was landing, and Dempsey couldn't even land straight. It's not like Dempsey leaned out. He couldn't even land.
Dempsey, an 80% foul shooter on the year, just 4 out of 8 before that shot.
Made the second, so cuts the deficit to 4. Out of the game goes Carter. Back into the game comes Keith. Correction, not Keith. I looked at the wrong guy. Mitch
Smith.
Clark. Clark's back into the game. Makes the second, cuts the deficit to 3. Both teams, by the way, at 9 team fouls, which means everybody's in the double bonus on the next foul. 3:08 remaining. Fake the 3 by Keller. Nice into Jackson on the elbow. He'll go to work from 10 feet, left it short. Great defense from Mitch Clark. We'll go back the other direction. It's Singleton with the ball. Crossover dribble on Stensgaard. Kick out to Clark, back to Singleton, and now they'll get Dempsey, who's got an odd matchup with Worden here. Worden cannot get that close, and it does a good job, though. Forces the extra pass, missed three-pointer by Singleton, and another strong rebound for River Falls as Odie gets it, and Stensgaard doesn't want it. He hands it back to Keller with 2.5 to go and a 3-point lead, and River Falls will call the timeout. I believe it'll be a full, and if so, it is. We'll take it as well. We got 2:29 remaining. River Falls a 64-61 lead. Find out what happens when we come back.
It starts right when you hit the court. You imagine your finest moment. The game-winning shot that gets you to the dance. A monster dunk or no-look pass. And cutting down the net. Sports lets us dream of our own success and prepare us for our finest moments on and off the court.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Welcome back courtside here. 64-61 lead by River Falls. Pat Coleman listening in to the Muskingum halftime.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. River Falls talking about staying big to keep the lead. On the opposite side here, Muskingum talking about boxing out, getting rebounds, and then going back to the back left, drew up a play or refreshed a play that they've run earlier. So keep an eye out for that when they get the ball back. Back to you guys.
Thank you to Pat Coleman. He was listening to the huddle, not the halftime. 2:25 left. It is Stensgaard, Odie, Keller, Worden, and Jackson on the floor. They'll go inside to Jackson. Clark bodies him up, and they'll draw the foul. Clark, I should say, a little frustrated.
And what will be the score when Muskingum does get the ball back? We talked in the first half about how if River Falls could get the inside game working for them, it was going to put pressure on Muskingum to keep the outside game going. Well, that's exactly what has happened here. And Muskingum, 1 of 9 from three-point range in the second half.
So Muskingum's no field goals in the last 3:03. One of their last 7. Their last score was Carter and a layup at 5:23 left. Jackson 1 for 3, by the way. Makes the score 65-61. So they have gone cold at absolutely the wrong time here.
But don't count out Dempsey. He's already got 25.
Dempsey the double team. Now they'll call it off. He'll go one-on-one with Stensgaard with 2:08 remaining. Everybody clears out, waiting to see what Dempsey's going to do. Dempsey kicks out. Clark fakes the three, will drive in, kick out instead. Three-pointer on the way. Top of the key, and buried it did Smith.
Well, that's one way to break out of the drought.
1:51 remaining. It's a 1-point lead for the Falcons.
He's got
They're going to
6
call
off the bench.
Nope, I thought they were going to call a timeout. They'll reset and call out the play from the far side. Keller with it. Being guarded by Dempsey. Now they'll get it to Jackson, now to Stensgaard. Stensgaard versus Smith. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Stensgaard from the baseline rattles it home. Back to a 3-point lead.
Sensational spot there. Generated some space, and that's something you practice in the gym quite a bit.
Dempsey, the three, buried it! Tie ball game with 70 seconds left to go.
And suddenly the 3 ball is kicking again.
Well, apparently.
Chirp, chirp, chirp.
Chirpity, chirp, 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 chirp behind us. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Stensgaard inside of Jackson. Goes to work on Clark. Off glass. Count it. Going to the line.
24 points now from Jackson. Man, he is having a monster weekend.
8 for 15, 2 for 2 from deep, 6 for 9 from the free throw line. He's also got 12 rebounds. 2 guys in double figures in that category just for River Falls alone.
Jackson now 42 points, 19 rebounds in 2 games. Trying to make his team 2-0 on the weekend.
We'll reset the field here. Court in just a second here has subs come in on the free throws. Dempsey, Singleton, Smith, Carter, Bartle on the floor from Muskingum. It is Phillips, Stensgaard, Odie, Keller, and Jackson on the floor for River Falls. Free throw is good. Called timeout. It's a full. We'll catch our breath. 53 seconds remaining. River Falls leads 70-67. See how this one turns out when we come back.
The love of the game. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that. A lot more.
Sure, the game is important. But as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics. And in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
You can make a difference.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Welcome back as we get ready for the final minute of this contest. Less than. I'm Dave McHugh, Ira Thor, alongside Pat Coleman with an update from the huddles.
Thanks a lot, Dave. I'm just really impressed by the Muskingum huddle right now. They're very calm, very measured. Coach Schwab takes a couple seconds to talk with his assistants, and then he comes to the bench and asks the guys in the game, what do you guys want to run right now? So I didn't get that answer, but I saw that was the question, and well, I guess we'll see what they run. But I just thought that was very impressive. He let the players make that decision.
Thank you, Pat. Hand the ball to Dempsey and go to work. 53 seconds left. And that's how we'll do it. Dempsey gets the ball. Well, he didn't initially. He'll now get it.
That's what I would run.
Why not?
Yeah.
Dempsey, Singleton, Smith, Carter, Bartle. Dempsey fakes the shot, gives it to Singleton. Singleton, the drive, and it goes around the world and in. Another timeout called. It gave the points to the wrong team. Apologize. There they go, 70-69. We'll keep it here this time as the timeout is called, I believe, by the Muskies. I'm waiting for the official signal. It's a full. It doesn't matter. We'll still keep it here. Both teams with, well, we got to get this right. River Falls, forgive the graphical changes, got 2 timeouts left. Muskingum with 3 timeouts left. 70-69. River Falls has the lead. Both teams are in the double bonus at this point. River Falls is 25 of 58 from the floor, just 4 of 15 from deep. Muskingum is 24 of 59, so almost identical numbers. They're 10 of 24 from deep in this game.
I mean, to me right now, I mean, the clear player you want to try to feed, and this is for Muskingum, their biggest stop of the weekend if they can get it. But Jackson's who you're looking for here. I think Muskingum's going to know that. They're going to key on him. I think Stensgaard's got to be the one who's going to take control.
River Falls is 3 of 6 beyond the arc in this half. They're 13 of 15 from the free throw line, whereas Muskingum's 3 of 11 from beyond the arc in this half, 8 of 13, as Pat has another update.
Thanks, Dave. Key takeaway out of the River Falls huddle is if they come down and score, they're going to want to take time out right away so they can get everybody set up and get set up defensively. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Pat. He's Pat Coleman. Ira Thor alongside him, Dave McHugh. The Muskies have hit 3 of their last 3 shots and are now trailing by 1. They led by as many as 12 in the final minute of the first half. River Falls is led by no more than 5. For River Falls, it is Stensgaard, Odie, Keller, Worden, and Jackson. From Muskingum, it's Dempsey, Massanelli, Singleton, Huffman, and Carter. There's a, let's call it 10.5-second difference between shot clock and game clock. And River Falls is going to call timeout, not surprisingly. They're down to 1 timeout, basically got into the offensive end, looked at how Muskingum was going to line up. They've got to hit a shot. That's key. If they hit a 2, it's kind of obvious that it's a 1-possession ball game, and the Muskies need to hit a 3, though they're capable of it. Do you go for the 3, though, Ira? Do you try and end it here, or do you play for 2 possessions? Well, I don't know how your mic. Sorry about that, sir. Go ahead.
Man, I know we're divorced, but
it's too tired. I can't even see the mics anymore.
I don't feel the love anymore.
Hurry up, because Pat's going to have an update.
Pat's got an update. Well,
no, hurry.
I'll say this. At this point, what's been your bread and butter? It's been your 3-point shot.
Mm-hmm.
Dempsey has been the horse to get you here. Singleton's having an okay game at 13 points, right about his average of what we expected from him. I think at this point, this team this year is going to live and die with Dempsey in these big spots. Why take the ball out of his hands behind the arc?
Mm-hmm. Pat doesn't have an update. You survived, sir, at the first horn. How about that?
That's the first time Pat hasn't been invited into the huddle.
70-69, River Falls has the ball and the lead. They have 1 timeout left. Both teams are into the double bonus at this point. Muskingum's got 3 timeouts left. We'll double check the court. Stensgaard, Odie, Keller, Worden, Jackson versus Dempsey, Massanelli, Singleton, Huffman, Carter. They get it into Keller. Keller being guarded by Massanelli. He'll get it to Odie. Odie to Stensgaard being guarded by Dempsey. Into Jackson. Goes to work off glass, no good. Strong rebound by Huffman. Here come the Muskies. 12 seconds left, no shot clock. Looking to take the lead. Leading or trailing by 1. Dempsey has a double team, kicks it out. 3-pointer rattles home.
Wow.
Timeout called as a 3 from Singleton is good.
That's a shot of his life for Singleton, the sophomore. Everything we talked about, Dave, happened except the final shot. They went inside to Jackson, as we expected that they would. Jackson got a good look against traffic, could not convert. He just missed. Rebound, they go up the court. Dempsey could have taken that shot. He saw out of his corner of his eye that he had Singleton in the corner. Singleton was left all alone because Dempsey drew that double team to the wing. Boom. What a shot. What a big moment for that young man.
River Falls called their final timeout.
Well, they didn't play for overtime. They played for the win.
16 points on 6 of 13 shooting, 2 for 6 from beyond the arc. The biggest one coming there is, again, the double team coming over. Not surprising on Dempsey with his 28 points. And he found Singleton in the corner. Dempsey's arms were up in the air as if he knew it was going in. I'll be honest, it was halfway there, and I wasn't so sure. That one rattled home. Pat Coleman now with an update.
Thanks a lot, Dave. You guys can obviously understand what you're going to expect out of a timeout like this. They got 4 seconds to go. They have to go the length of the floor. They're sending guys down the floor 1 by 1. Whichever one is open is going to get the ball. They just drew it up right now in the huddle. Back to you.
Thank you, Pat. No timeouts for the Falcons, so they also can't waste time with this. Though we've seen this in the pattern in the last two games. The back-to-back use of timeouts. So the Muskies now will call their penultimate timeout.
When did college
I'm sorry,
basketball,
they've got 2 more left. I miscounted.
When did college basketball become the NFL?
Well, it's funny because in the last 2 women's games, we had double timeouts called by one team, fouled immediately by another team calling a timeout, and really that was ball movement in the final minute. Here we get the back-to-back timeouts called by both teams as well. I'd love to show you the three-pointer, folks, but I was a little late on the replay capture, and I've got the ball about 10 feet out of the hands of Mr. Singleton, so it's not much to show you. This is the final game here of 16, and Pat's got another update for us as we close in on the final 4 seconds of this one.
Thanks, Dave. For Muskingum on the other side, the 2 takeaways are make sure they don't roll it. You cannot let them roll the ball. And then the instinct is to let someone, is when the shot goes up, is to watch it no matter what, even though the closing seconds are coming, still get a body on someone and box someone out here on what could be this final shot. Back to you.
Thank you. Muskies, 4 of their last 4 after going 1 for 7 at one point in the last 3 or 4 minutes prior to that.
And speaking about getting a body on someone, have somebody near the rim ready for a quick tip just in case.
For Muskingum, it's Dempsey, Massanelli, Singleton, Huffman, Carter. Another timeout called. Whew.
Are they trying to
keep
ice
revving
the
up?
kicker?
And keep revving up, and the Muskies call timeout again. All right, so they're down to their final timeout. I was about to say it's Dempsey, Massanelli, Singleton, Huffman, Carter. And it'll go against Stensgaard, Keller, Ingersoll, Worden, Jackson. I believe that's how it will stay.
You can still say it.
Yeah, no, I think it'll stay that way.
I mean, nothing's stopping you. By the way, I know we had a messy divorce earlier this week. I love you again. I just want to say that.
You're selfish.
Just because I want you to myself.
All right, we're coming out of timeout. I don't think there's going to be one here. Pat has a quick update.
Travis Schwab's last words to them, keep everything in front of you, keep everything in front of you. Don't let them get behind you.
That's sage advice.
Well, they're using the prevent defense here. Again, Dempsey, Massanelli, Singleton, Huffman, Carter on the floor for the River Falls. They throw it into Stensgaard. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Stensgaard puts it up. It's too far to the left. Your final score is Muskingum 72, River Falls 70 on a thriller of a finale.
I don't know if I like that last shot, Dave. They went down the court. I don't think they got there fast enough to really set their feet and get a quality shot. And you can see by the result that it was about 2 feet wide of the rim. You got to give yourselves an opportunity to have something. I don't go for the 3 there to win it. That's not being your bread and butter in this game. Go inside.
I think it's the only thing they could in that amount of time. They got the short pass. They had to do something quick.
I don't know, I disagree. I think with 4 seconds, you have enough time to use. You have 2 options on either side of the court. Go down the floor and give yourself a chance.
Pat Coleman has got Coach Travis Schwab on the floor. I wonder if Coach DeWitt liked how they drew that up.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. First off, Coach, congratulations. Secondly, kind of talk us through the chess match there with all those timeouts there at the end.
You know, we wanted to get a look at what alignment they were in. We were trying to calm our guys down, get everything set because – you know, as I saw you behind us, you heard a lot of times you lose those games on offensive rebounding, so we wanted to make sure everyone was set and knew that where to block out and how we were going to guard it. Proud of my guys. That is a really good basketball team. You know, River Falls, they're big, they're skilled. I'm really proud of my guys and how they competed tonight. It's been a great week.
Talk about calm. I think previous timeout we mentioned we saw you very calm with your players, and then even asked them what they wanted to run in that situation.
Hey, they got to make the shot, so I might as well give them the opportunity. We've got a bunch of guys returning from last year. We were in a bunch of dog fights last year. We've built on that. It wasn't success last year, but we've been in these situations, so they've done it. And hey, my program, they have a say, so I wanted to hear what they had to say about that.
Dempsey had a stretch in which points came easy to him, and then, late in the game, they really didn't. He finishes 9 of 26 from the floor, still ends up with 28 points, but you had to go elsewhere down the stretch.
This is the first time we've won a game where he was off. So I'm proud of the guys. We have come a long way since the earlier part of this season with both offense and defense. But to finally win a game, and you can say Marcus had an off night. He had 28 points, but he had an off night. And for our other guys to step up, and make big shot after big shot. I mean, MJ Smith at the top of the key, Trey Singleton in the corner. I mean, that's big-time stuff. That's where we've been working to get to.
Congratulations and good luck the rest of the season.
Hey, thank you for running such a classy event, guys. It's been great.
Appreciate it. Back to Dave and Ira.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Coach.
And I really liked what he had to say about...
I don't think Mike DeWitt, by the way, would ever let his players decide where the ball goes.
I really loved what...
I'm testing if
what
Mike's
Coach,
listening.
Well, we're going to find out if we get a message. But
no.
What an encouraging message, though, from Coach Schwab when he said, it's their program, too. They have a say in my program. To me, that's what college basketball at this level is about. That's the beautiful thing about the amateurism that you still have in Division III. These kids have a say. They're the ones out there who have to make some decisions. This is a microcosm of life. Sports helping you solve problems. Well, they solved the problem right there. Dempsey's not having as great of a game as you would expect him.
Right.
Yes, he
still
is
gonna
your
draw
top
the attention,
option,
though.
and he did draw the attention, which is what let Singleton be so free. But they problem solved. Yep, you know what? Dempsey may not be the top choice. Maybe Singleton could be the one to hit the shot. And he capitalized when he had that moment.
And I'm sure River Falls is thinking this. We've only double-teamed off of screens. Let's flash the double team at him off of a random scenario, and we don't mind letting Singleton take it, though of all the choices,
I think that's a mistake.
I don't think Singleton's the one you want to go for, but he ends up finishing 2 for 6 from beyond the arc with that last one. So he was 1 of 5 going in, so maybe it's a statistical game. But
if I'm leaving somebody open off of a screen of Dempsey, it's not Singleton. It's any of the other 3. And they got burned for it. I still don't like the shot choice at the end. I think that they could have come up with something else, but we'll never know.
That's a fair point. Statistically, I don't know if Pat had something to add or not. He was hanging out with us there for a sec.
Pat just wanted camera time.
Statistically, both teams shot exactly the same, percentage-wise and numbers-wise. Both were 25 of 60 from the game at 41.7%. River Falls was 4 for 16 from deep. To your point about the 3, again, I think it was the only shot they had. 11 of 25 did Muskingum at 44%. River Falls out-rebounded the Muskies 42-31. River Falls had 13 assists to 14 turnovers. Muskies were 10 and 10 in that category. Interesting finish, to say the least.
Yeah, and for Muskingum, as they head back to Ohio and get ready for OAC play, this could be a huge catalyst for them going into the second half of that schedule. You got Otterbein coming up, and then they got Marietta, then Ohio Northern and Mount Union. So 2 of the top programs in the conference in the next 4 games, so it doesn't get any easier. I think they're going to have a lot to draw upon when they do get those 2 opponents. They're on the road against Marietta. Marietta just took a loss. Mount Union's been playing very, very well since they didn't win a national title in football. So I think this team can seriously make an impact in the conference this year. This weekend, again, they're the only ones that are going to leave 2-0. Very statement performance, if anything, for this Muskie squad.
Let's take a look at the 16 games we had here at South Point Arena in Las Vegas. It started back on Friday with 2 games. In women's, University of New England defeated MSOE 63-52, while St. Scholastica had an incredible game against Central, winning 94-84, led by 24 points. Central came back to get it to within 2 halfway through the second half, and then St. Scholastica went on to win that one. In day number 2, it was a 4-game set. Start off with 2 top 10 battles in women's basketball. Number 6 Amherst defeated DeSales 73-52, and George Fox handled Scranton 54-44 in a battle of 9v number 2. Then in men's basketball, Muskingum, the team you just saw, beat Ramapo 91-82, very much surprising the Roadrunners. Then New Jersey City came back on Central. Game was tied 38-38 at halftime, and then the Gothic Knights said, forget it, and ended the game quickly in the second half, going on to win 87-62. Then on day 3, it was a 6-game, I don't remember the word Gordon used, but it was a big one.
It was a
6-game.
Sextuple?
I don't remember what it was. Sextuple. That's what it was. Claremont Mud Scripps defeated St. Vincent 46-44 in a thrill to start the day. Claremont Mud Scripps, much like the finale here with Muskingum, scored with 20 seconds left. St. Vincent couldn't hit their final shot, and Athena's come out with a 46-44 win. Amherst then rolled over Keene State 71-41. Emmanuel handled MSOE easily 76-34. And George Fox added to its statement with a win over number 2 Scranton by dominating UNE 80-45. In men's basketball, River Falls got the win over New Jersey City 79-69, storming back in the second half to win that one. Ramapo defeated St. Scholastica 73-71 in a good battle between those two, and that finished off day 3 of 6 games. And then today we had 4 games. It started with number 2 Scranton against St. Vincent, and a really good game between Pennsylvania squads. Scranton won 63-57. DeSales had a good game against Claremont Mudd Scripps, proving why Claremont Mudd Scripps is in the top 25 conversation. The Bulldogs won 67-63. Emmanuel and Keene State faced one another. I think I've got that score wrong. It's around here somewhere. I know Emmanuel won, but I think it was 66-59. And then in men's basketball, Muskingum defeated River Falls in a thriller you just saw here, 72-70. So a heck of a finale here to the 152nd game in the D3Hoops.com Classic history. That's 16 down for this year. We're already getting ready for the 11th version next year, which will be the 10th anniversary of the event. And I'm forgetting some of the teams already that were mentioned, but we got what looks to be a good affair. I do know Ramapo's coming back in what is probably the least shocking news to anybody who knows the D3Hoops.com Classic very well.
I'm shocked that they would think of going anywhere else. I mean, Journey might play again. Coach McGreen's got a show to see.
That's true. He loves his tournament, that is for sure. He talks about the team bonding that it allows it to happen as well. So there you go. Ira, final thoughts on this game and really the whole thing.
No, I was impressed by the Muskies. I think they were one of the teams that you came into this tournament wondering what they were all about. Obviously, Dempsey came in with this reputation as this flashy scorer, 3rd in the country. Well, we saw this weekend that he is the real deal, even on an off night when he's able to put in close to 30. But there's so much more than just one player. River Falls, however, yeah, they took a loss, but they are a team that is not going to go easily in night. I don't care who the opponent is, whether they're playing one of these games against a WIAC school, an NJAC school, anybody that's going to physically challenge them down low, or if they're going to be a shooting matchup, which is what they really did face tonight. Came back, very easily could have won this game, and a game that could have gone either way. I think we saw a lot of good basketball. On the men's side, it was a lot more balanced this year than we've ever had before. I think there was maybe just one lopsided score the entire tournament. On the women's side, well, this is what happens when you bring in 4 of the top 10 teams in the country, and then some squads that are not in the national ranking equation. There were some lopsided performances, but there were also some games where you saw some tremendous matchups this weekend, and teams like a George Fox kind of demonstrated that they are for real. Great weekend overall, though, and I really enjoyed being a part of this for the 3rd year in a row with you and Pat and Gordon. And just a good weekend, quality weekend of basketball. I said it before, if teams are considering a tournament for this time of the year, why not look at this opportunity to challenge yourself on the court and bond as a team and build that chemistry out here in Las Vegas?
I will say this result tonight, Muskingum defeating River Falls 72-70, drives home the parity conversation in Division III basketball. Both teams are middle of the road in both conferences. They're going to be in the battle. They're going to be in the conversation for the conference tournaments. Muskingum in the OAC, River Falls in the WIAC. River Falls, though, looked like they were ascending to the upper tier, possibly for this year. Muskingum's going to make it interesting. Anybody can beat anybody in Division III basketball. That includes the top teams in the country. We saw it today. Emory losing on a buzzer beater just over half court by Guilford after surviving against Oshkosh yesterday. Swarthmore is still undefeated, but they've got 2 tests coming up. Stevens defeated Johns Hopkins today. That goes with losses by Marietta. Whitworth lost 2 this weekend. Whitman, I think, even lost 2 this weekend, though I know they're not in the top 25. There's so much parity in Division III men's basketball. And what I think we saw on the floor, while no ranked teams, we saw where the middle of the conferences are also quite even. So
and you know what that's going to do is come March.
It's going to make things incredibly impossible.
This year's national committee is going to resign after trying to do that bracket.
And then the bracket's going to be wide open. So that will wrap it up from here, folks. For Ira Thor, Pat Coleman, and Gordon Mann, I'm Dave McHugh. I want to thank Brett Seymour and the entire staff at Sports Tours International for putting this event together with us. As always, we do kind of, as Pat said, the editorial work. They do the logistical work, and they do an amazing job. I want to thank those at South Point Hotel, Casino, and Arena as well. They do a fabulous job putting this event on and making the student athletes and teams feel special as well. I want to thank Blue Frame Technology for their allowance of us using production truck software. If you would like to learn more about production truck software, give them a call. Or check out their website, blueframetech.com. I have that right. Yeah, blueframetech.com is their website. Tell them I sent you as well. If you're a fan of Hoopsville, I don't even think anybody's listening at this point, but if you're a fan of Hoopsville, we will not be on the air January 2nd for multiple reasons.
You need to rest your voice?
One, I need to rest more than my voice, but the other reason is right before I headed out here, the producing computer was not starting up, so I need to get that researched. I also have a doctor's appointment for a different thing that morning. So we'll be on the air Sunday, January 5th, 7 o'clock Eastern, and we will somehow put our heads around what was an absolutely insane holiday stretch of basketball on both the men's and the women's side. For more information, check us out on Twitter at D3Hoopsville, #Hoopsville. D3Hoopsville.com, D3Hoops.com/Hoopsville. You can figure it out. We're also on Instagram as well.
You and I both have a ballot on the men's side and the D3Hoops.
I don't even want to look
25,
at it.
And
I don't want to even look at it.
I'm already knowing.
I get a week to think about it, and I don't want to even think about it.
We know that Swarthmore is going to be number one, and then after that.
Well, no, we don't. Well, they got 2 games against Stevens and Rochester between now and then.
If nothing changes,
right,
they will be number one.
After that,
after that, the choices are completely up in the air, and I don't know how we're going to make head and tail of that.
FFL is still with us. I will say. I said earlier I got the top 2, and I'm going to leave if we had voted today, I'd have the top 2 and then leave the rest blank. Now I got the top, and I'm leaving the rest blank because it's absolutely insane. That'll do it from us, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate you all joining us here from South Point Arena. As Ira said, if you want to come join us, including next year, where we're still putting the field together, we will get you in touch with those at Sport Tours, unless you know how to get a hold of Brett Seymour at Sport Tours. We would love to have you out here, whether you're a top 10 team, whether you're a program who's trying to improve to become a top 25 program or become an NCAA tournament team, or you're just a team that wants to bond, come out here and be challenged. We would love to have you. And we'll look forward to seeing you in 2020 and beyond. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. This has been a production of D3Sports.com. Of course, all copyrights of this broadcast are, give us a call. Well, I do the short version. Let us know if you'd like to use them in any way, and we'll try and give you some permissions. For Pat Coleman, as I said, for Gordon Mann, and for Ira Thor, I'm Dave McHugh. And by the way, Larry Radloff at D3Photography.com. If you want pictures of this entire event, Larry Radloff was the man. He's got albums and galleries up. It's a good way of supporting our efforts as well. Folks, thanks for tuning in for the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic from South Point Arena in Las Vegas. You guys enjoy yourselves. We will see you on the air with Hoopsville on Sunday, January 5th. And we will see you on D3Hoops.com, D3Boards.com, on Twitter, on Facebook, and everywhere in between. Good night, everybody.